Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of What Can I Say? The podcast where I talk about things you need to hear, things you don't need to hear, or things I simply have an opinion on. So, in honor of Friday and just the simple fact that I miss football, so Friday Night Lights, I thought I'd talk to you guys about what football has taught me in certain life lessons because I've heard every single stereotype about how football is supposed to grow young men. Everything from how it teaches you when you get knocked down, you got to get back up, how to fight through the pain, how to work together as a team, how when it's 110 degrees outside and you can't even see down the street, and you got to put on that sweaty, dingy jersey and walk out there with the rest of your buddies who all smell like shit, knowing for the next 2 hours you're going to do nothing but bang heads, get hurt, and be uncomfortable. And it teaches you mind over matter. Now, these are all great lessons to have, especially when you're growing up. But there is one lesson that football has taught me that I believe trumps the rest of them. But it's a lesson that I don't hear the coaches talking about. I don't hear the media talking about it. Heck, I don't even hear the players talking about it. But it's a lesson I believe is the most important when it comes to football and life. And that is the ability to predict what's coming and also self-correction. But you only get this lesson through film study. Problem is that most people that ever played the game of football is around the high school level. So about 15 to 18 years old, there's so much more going on in their life. They're worried about a home life, school life, social life, girlfriend, life after high school. So obviously sitting in front of a monitor for 6 hours at a time isn't on their top priority. But the ironic thing is that 90% of all the plays they're going to see on the field, plays that are going to determine whether they get a win or they get a loss, is on the monitor. Now, I don't have to tell you guys that every single team has a strength and a weakness, so obviously the team's going to want to play to their strength, but they're going to switch it up just enough to say that they fooled you. So out of 60 plays, maybe 6 of them are going to be different, 10% of them. Now, what if I were to tell you guys, just like on the football field, you can predict 90% of all your problems? A lot of people be like, Christian, what crystal ball Kool-Aid have you drunk to where you think you could predict 90% of all my problems? Let me give you guys an example. Pretty sure a lot of you guys have seen that movie Invincible, right? With Mark Wahlberg. Well, he's having trouble reading the line in the movie, so the guy tells him, what color are my knuckles? White. That means I'm coming towards you. It's like, what color are my knuckles now? Skin color. That means I'm dropping back. If you followed the game of football or whatever your respected sport is, whether it's basketball, baseball, soccer, tennis, golf, swimming, whatever it is, you will notice that there are certain patterns inside of the game. There are certain tendencies. So if you watch it long enough, you can get the pattern of the game. And that's why a lot of coaches, they create game plans because they understand the fundamentals of it. Now, if you understand life's fundamentals, you can start predicting certain things that are going to happen to you. Now, I'm not going to say you can prevent everything. Sometimes the opponent's just a little bit faster, a little bit stronger. But you got to start predicting, you got to start studying, because that's one of the things that really irks me is when I see people by the time they're 30 years old, they approach life like a high schooler.
Only thing I gotta do is just show up.
They jump out there, the world slaps them 6 ways to Sunday. By the time they're 30, they throw up their hands and they quit. Why? You're 1 quarter into life. You got to study the film. You got to study life. Life has key tendencies. Now, what is the film you got to study? Everybody around you. It's everybody that's ever taken a breath of life. It's your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your coworker, your employer, the guy that owns the corner deli, your local mechanic. Every single person has life lessons. Even the people that you deem losers, they have life lessons in themselves in the sense of what not to do. And it's just one of those things that it's really crazy to me that, I'll give you guys an example. A lot of people want to complain because they see us on Facebook. Oh my gosh, my car broke down. Why does it always happen at the most inopportune moment? Really? If you look at an average car, especially as they get older, you need to put maintenance in them at least every month, and about every 3 months, an older car over 100,000 miles will break down. Whether it's you need new tires, whether it's you need new shocks, whether it's an alternator, whether it's multiple different things. And then this is the other one I've always heard is money. People always talk about money. How many people out there do you know that give financial advice? Probably a lot. How many people out there do you know are broke? Probably a lot. So don't listen to people's words either. I think one of the most important things for film study when it comes to life is study people's actions. If you're struggling with money, understand what type of job do you have? What economical class are you in? Understand what your rent is. Understand how much you're spending. Understand your insurance. And when you pay attention to all that and you realize maybe you're spending a little bit more than what you should, by the end of the month you're having money issues, there is your problem. But a lot of people want to be blind to the fact. But again, study. And here's another one I'm going to give you guys. It can even go down to relationships. Give you guys an example. Theoretically, we're just talking here. Say for some reason, wife ends up cheating on her husband, they get divorced. That's what you hear. You're like, oh my gosh, that's so sad. But there's really no lessons inside of that. And seeing that we're in one of the highest rates of divorce, especially now in our time, if you really love your partner, you want to stick with your partner, you would want to figure out little keys to make sure that you make your relationship last. So you hear that wife cheats, husband, all them, they get divorced. Maybe if you study that relationship a little bit, you'll realize that maybe the husband started working longer hours. Because the husband started working longer hours, the wife wanted affection. She wasn't getting affection from the husband, so she went out, looked for it from someone else, got it from someone else. Husband found out, they got divorced. You understand that. You take it, you apply it to your life to say, I love my partner. I gotta make sure to spend certain amounts of time with them. Boom. Problem solved. Because you studied the game footage. And give you guys a real world example right now. Again, we're gonna go back to money. Because this whole coronavirus, the market ended up kind of crashing a little bit. And a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, this was totally unexpected. Maybe the pandemic was unexpected, but the crash wasn't. When was the last time we had a crash? 2008. Before then, 2001. Before then, I believe it was 92 if I'm not mistaken. Before then, 89. Economical crashes happen all the time. It's predictable. A lot of life is predictable. Now, here's the other part to it, is talking about self-correction though. Also watching game footage. If any of you guys ever played the game of football, you also correct yourself. And that might be one of the hardest parts to realize in front of everybody too. Coach calls you out. Hey, you made this wrong mistake. Hey, you got blown up on this play. It hurts. Trust me, I know. But also, when you understand your actions, maybe you handled a situation wrong. You got into a fight. You're sitting in the car. One of the most mature things you could do is ask yourself, what did I do wrong? How could I have handled this differently? And maybe that comes with talking to certain people. In football, you got your coach. Your coach can see the whole picture. When you're playing, you only are focused on your assignment. But when the coach sees the whole picture, he can tell you, maybe do this, maybe do this. Same thing with life. Talk to people. Get different perspectives on things. Look at things a different way and fix the mistakes that you have. Maybe you're having money issues. Talk to someone that has money and then you figure it out. Maybe you want a better relationship. Talk to people that have the relationship that you dream of having. Now, here's the disclaimer to this. Is 10% of all your problems are not going to be predictable. It's the 10% that's the trick plays that were made just for you. No one could have saw it coming. It was finding out your kid has cancer. It's your house burning down. It's you get into a car accident. Someone that you love maybe got hurt or they got sickness, whatever, something. One of my high school football coaches, his daughter actually had leukemia. Thank God she was fine, but that's the hardship. Sometimes that opponent's just a little bit bigger than you, a little bit faster than you, a little bit stronger than you, got that one extra step, and he knocks you on your butt, and now it's called CTE, but you're looking at stars. You got two options. Stay down for the rest of the game, or get back up and dust yourself off. Those are your only two options. But if you can predict it, if you understand that I know what's coming, I know the guard's pulling, I know I'm going to get hit, there's really no way around it, you can prepare for it. And I think that's the one thing a lot of people need to do, because like I said, we're blind to it. We're going in this game, and if you don't know anything about football and you get stepped between the lines, it's complete chaos. But if you have an understanding, it's a lot more simple. Same thing with life. Treat it the exact same way. If you're having money issues, study people with money. Take advice from people that have money. If you're having relationship issues, study people that are not just preaching a good relationship, but have a good relationship. You see it. It's very evident. You can see it. People can't BS that type of stuff. So that's my whole point. Study, learn, adapt, correct yourself. Maybe life won't be as hard as you think it is. Still going to be hard, but it'll be manageable. So That's my message for today. Hope you guys take it to heart. Thank you guys for listening.